It's Tuesday, the 6th of January 2026, and our news bite today takes a close forensic look, well, it has for the last few weeks, hasn't it, at the war between the land and the sea and whether the whole series has been a success or not, because all the news is in. We have the consolidated and overnights for all 5 parts, so there's no hiding place now. The details are here, the truth is here. I don't need to do any kind of nonsense about it. I don't need to bring piles of opinion. We'll make our own. Facts speak loudly. So, as you can see, for example, there's no emotion in my thumbnail. It's just stats, facts, truth. The only word that indicates my creative editorial input is the verb sinks. And since 1.2 million left watching the series, I thought that was apt with the semantic field of water. So there you go. Sorry, had to explain that in case anyone wanted to accuse me of being a cope or a shill or a dinosaur or a clickbaiter. No, I just do deal with the truth. That's all I need. So, it's going to be interesting tonight. We've got John on, don't you worry. Radio Times set the objective in stark binary terms. They said this spin-off was sink or swim for Doctor Who. So, right, well, we'll add that to the package. There's the quotation. Louise Griffin said in December 2025, it is described as a make or break moment for Doctor Who, a sink or swim scenario. All right, okay then. Right, we'll enjoy talking about that. And since some of the context, of course, is will Pete McTighe be a shoo-in for the new showrunner? We discussed that last night, as well as all the leaks and the rumours. You know, it's relevant because he exclusively wrote parts 2, 3, and 4 of the spin-off. So there's a lot we can talk about if we thought it was successful or not. But okay, so teed it up. Of course, it had all its usual controversies, didn't it? It had mixed up messaging. The Sea Devils fly tipping the whole planet, but Kate threatens to shoot one bloke who dropped a bottle. Yeah, go figure. We had a character from Doctor Who who's been well established in Doctor Who losing it, needing a psychotherapist. So it was really weird. And so we come to, was this different to Doctor Who? Was it more successful than Doctor Who? Because some people, and I'll show you them tonight, some articles are saying it should be given a second chance. So let's get John on. And as I get John on, I will obviously say hello, John.
Hi, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you all. This is going to be a fun one, as always.
I think so. We've got Stephen O'Neill, we've got Garbage, we've got Farsight, we've got Domgo, hello. We've got Mad Mackham, of course, Lee Smith. We've got Mary Quayle from Manchester. So hello, one and all. It is going to be a good one, and I've made sure we've got some laughs included too. So I suppose we start with, because I like to be organised, as you know, on this channel. I mean, everybody, if you look behind me above my TARDIS, you might find some subtle hints. We've got Sutek is in the house, you know, and obviously Walkie's keeping an eye on him. So yes, hello everybody. So what's been going on? Well, these are the headlines. Oh, hi, I've got headlines now because this is the last one about the spin-off. John, just sit back and enjoy the headlines, and then we'll discuss them in detail. All right, everybody? This is what we'll discuss tonight. The series overnight fell by 1.03 million. It was only on for 3 weekends. The series consolidated fell by 1.22 million. So all those people who think I do clickbait, I actually freely give them 20,000 back. So 1.22 million, and they prefer the consolidated, don't they? Oh yes, they do.
Well, you're not going to win, mate. You're not going to win because they'll basically go, oh yeah, but we haven't had the 30-year version yet, so we need to wait for the 30-year to see if it's a success.
Yes, you know. Brendan. You've gone early, Brendan. You've gone early. You're so clickbaity, you, Brendan. You've waited 2 weeks. Oh god, yeah. So, by the way, the series. I mean, is everybody noting these down as classically fall and fall on consolidated or overnights? Overnights we normally mention, consolidated they adore. The series was below the overnight averages for BBC One dramas, which is normally 2 to 4 million.
Mm.
The series was below the consolidated average for BBC dramas, 46 million. So are you getting the vibe yet, John?
Yeah, yeah. Glug, glug.
It is. You're drowning, drowning. Um, Now, I have compared, I've been up to date though, because some people say, oh, but TV's dead. Terrestrial TV's this. Okay. Right. Night Manager, how relevant can I be? The Night Manager's only had 2 episodes on Sunday nights in the same slot as the spin off. How relevant's that, John?
It's extremely relevant, isn't it? It's almost like, and you've seen it and I haven't. It's almost like somebody, some viewers are thinking this might actually be appealing entertainment for us to watch on a Sunday night. Could it be?
Yeah.
Could it be?
So, when people say, oh, TV's dying and Doctor Who was getting more viewers years ago, so you can't compare like for like and da 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 da. And I get that in many cases. But you can't say a week later it's got a lot worse. So sorry. Sorry, folks. In fact, there's more captive audiences closer to Christmas. So the headlines are the opening night of of Night Manager gets 500,000 more than the opening War Between episode. And remember, that was the outlier. And I'll show you the figures. The opening Night Manager got 1.2 million higher than the spin off's average overnights. So just bank that. I'll show you all the facts, everybody. Don't you worry. John is saying the first series of Night Manager was spellbinding. We've had to wait 10 years. I think this is what we've got to do with Doctor Who. We've got to only make it when it's got a good storyline. And just before you come in, Garbage, The Traitors attracts record breaking viewing figures. Yep, more than 6 million tuned in, and that was not the celebrity version. I agree. It's out there if you want it. No more excuses, everybody. Sadako, I think it was too much of a slow burner, which is ironic because I've long wished the new series would go back to the slow burner approach. Right, Michael Herbert, good to see you as well. We're all in place, but the headlines are continuing.
Yeah.
The series was worse than the Doctor Who season 1 overnight average. Ah, right. And I'll show you later on. Yeah. This was worse than Space Babies, Rogue, Empire of Death all put together. The
Blimey.
series, though, and this is when I'm very fair on the sense for you, the series was better than Doctor Who's season 2 overnight average. Okay. So, I'll show you all the figures later. But it's almost a dead heat, though, if you add season 1 and two's overnight averages together of Doctor Who. It's almost a dead heat. So basically, nothing's changed. It's almost as if the same people have written it.
It's funny that, isn't it? Yeah, it almost sounds like it's the same people that have written it, and it almost sounds like it's just scraping the barrel of the ones that still want to watch it, or
Yeah.
those that are curious to watch it and then tune out after they've seen an episode of it.
Yeah, and of course, John has had his criticisms as well, but he watched, you've had a look at it, haven't you?
I have. Dear gosh. What a complete dumpster fire.
Poor John, and he did that. I said, you don't have to watch it all, but he's had a look at it so that he's got skin in the game.
Yeah.
And this is the last one, folks, before we do the details and have the fun. So, my headlines are this, that Russell T Davies and Pete McTighe were unsuccessful with the spin-off because clearly nothing changed. The dial didn't move. This is the continuation, therefore, of the Doctor Who demise in the TV ratings. There was too much anecdotal evidence from parents, from friends, from people who didn't even know I was watching this. They didn't even know it was Doctor Who, so they didn't know if it was relevant to me, and they were all slagging it in different ways. And so there's too much anecdotal evidence of people just not liking what they saw. And then the final one, it failed to sustain or gain a TV audience.
Can I just say, Tomboy Chick in the chat, good to see you. Yeah, your post, oh dear, John, why did you torture yourself? Yes, exactly. I came out of this pretty much like Kate Lethbridge Stewart at the end of it, to be honest with you. It's time of my life I will never get back, and I blame Brendan 100% for that, and he will pay down the road for that. There's no doubt in it. It's gonna happen.
Oh,
You're on notice.
Sutek was ordering me to tell you. Yeah, you see that little Sutek's there. I'm following the RTD genius. I'm doing really well on that. So yes, It's all.
There's
It's
always
all
a twist at the end.
Oh God, yeah, a spiky one. So there's the headlines, everybody. That's just to start us off, and this is the content, nothing made up. Um, Bromeo and Halibut. It was one of you lot in the thread who came up with that one. It was very funny. Um, so, by the way, on those headlines that we were going through there, I mean, the details are quite nasty. I said it was a dead heat almost. Season 1 and two's average was 2.08, and the average for the spin-off was 2.16. So we're arguing over 100,000. I mean, it's just like a statistical dead heat.
Yeah, it is.
The spin-off was worse than series 1, and that was just by a matter of 170,000. So if you get my gist, it's kind of, yeah.
Neck and neck again, yeah.
Better than season 2 by 400,000. And that's the figure that some of the articles out there are saying, I wonder if this is therefore more successful than Doctor Who. I'll show you. No, it's not. No, no, no. So, yeah, just to remind you of what what this is all about. Do I need to tell people why they actually... My mum went mad about this. One of my best mates went mad about this. They just said, why would you watch stuff like this? And I'm going, I don't want to watch stuff like this. I just want to watch decent sci-fi.
Yeah. I mean, again, you know, we've had, you know, attacks on us before about, oh, you know, we don't like this or that because, you know, political reasons. No. What it comes down to when you drill it down is the quality of the show itself. And it's poor. The writing is poor. You know, the story is poor. Like I said to you, I joked last time. I enjoyed my original version of War Between the Land and the Sea, and that's called Stingray. And I'll keep going back to that because that's 50 times better than what this was. You know.
Yeah.
You know,
And, I mean, there's so many things you can say or do to cheer yourself up, but my God, it would take something. I mean, clearly, after seeing those figures, you have to say this.
Sack Russell T Davies, and I'll come back. The first series was a mess. It was to do with the people who were supposed to make it.
I say this is how we see Davros now, without the facial scarring, without the wheelchair or his this. And
Welcome to the Weakest Link.
very, very proud of the fact that we have. And it's dead. Steady spits in half. 2 doctors.
You are the Weakest Link. Goodbye. Then you are unemployed.
Think of it, wherever society is, that's where you should. Awful lot of people have masturbated over my work and come up to me and tell me.
Sack Russell T Davies, sack Jane Tranter.
Play the Weakest Link. Another way of saying unemployed.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the judgment of the android, not me. Sorry about that, everybody. But you see, when you saw pictures like this and when you heard about stuff like this, would you rather see an episode of Doctor Who like this, or would you like to see a Doctor Who episode like this?
that's thing is, if this lot carry on, that's exactly what we're going to get, because you know they're going to do a new 5 Doctors special.
5 Doctors special where he's kind of transitioning into a Cyberman. Woman.
Yeah. But he's not augmented his certain parts of his genitalia yet.
Oh, that's the worst part of it. Apparently, that's when they say silence, silence, silence. Yeah.
No wonder that Cyberman was being sick.
Anyway, I just saw that on the thing today. I thought, oh my God. So, and of course, it's so relevant because we've got the discussions. They are more than discussions because the leak said that obviously Pete McTighe is being pushed to be the future showrunner by RTD, you know, pass the baton on, keep it in-house. But that just means we're feeding off the same ideas. If you listen to Pete McTighe, whether you like him or not, and I'm not getting into that, he actually says, oh, RTD's a genius. Oh, RTD had all these ideas. And I'm thinking, I want somebody who's not in RTD's shadow and not in RTD's sphere.
Now, I get in the production world, you know, TV and film, that you've got to be respectful to potentially the ones that were before you. But it's insufferable at this point. It really is. And I think for me, I called this a year ago, and I said that it's going to be this guy. You know, it's nailed on. It's going to be, like you've said, pass the baton. And for me, this is the a similar scenario right now to my football club. You know, where they've sacked a manager, but you know that it's not going to get fixed because they're still in charge. They're still running the show. So you're going to get the same again. And this is exactly like it. So
yeah, it's very like football, isn't it? Where if the manager goes, but the deputy manager steps up and you're going, well, that's not going to change it. So let's take a look. The series look at this. So remember, I've set the stall out here. When the Radio Times, like many of them had seen episodes 1 and 2, she made all these claims and she said she hasn't seen it all. So she said, you know, it could go wrong. But she said the Whoniverse spin-off should tempt even those disillusioned with Doctor Who back. It's enormously entertaining, episodes 1 and 2. Now, of course, the ratings are saying an awful lot of different things. Now, we've got the details from the week 8th to 14th and from the 15th to the 21st. I'll start with the consolidated with episodes 3 and 4, everybody, and then we'll look at episode 5 and, of course, how that compared to Antiques Roadshow, blankety blank, the lot. So if you take a look there, if you look in 10th place, the war between the land and the sea went backwards, so to speak, in position. It was higher for overnights and then it started to fall. So basically, that the consolidated didn't work here. Remember, they're talking about episodes 3 and 4 here as an average. But Strictly Come Dancing zoomed on towards its final. Celebrity Race Across the World, Have I Got News for You, The Wheel, I'm a Celebrity, Coming Out Party, blah, blah, blah. Even the BBC News at 6, whether that was a big news item or not, beat the war between the land and the sea.
Yeah. I mean, quite frankly, mate, the BBC could go out and have an old man sat on a chair eating a cheese sandwich now, and it'd probably get more viewing figures than this. You know, you're talking about quality.
Oh, I can't wait. We're going to have fun tonight, everybody. And we're going to do, I use this item for season 2 and I'm going to play along with John. So John will be asked about certain programs and with episode 5 consolidated, whether the program beats the spin-off or the spin-off wins. So remind. Just to give you the game show vibe, that's coming up for everybody for a bit of fun, and we'll see how many of top trumps that John gets.
Yeah.
And as I said, I've got the details from the last week, episode 5, when that happened, and Strictly Come Dancing just quietly got 8.4 million. 8.4 million. Yeah.
Well, again, you know, people are still tuning into that, and I think I said to you before, even with all of the, you know, all of the issues that they've had behind the scenes of late on Strictly, people are still tuning into it. You know, they see it as entertainment. You know what? And again, the fraction of the cost that they're paying to produce this compared to what they're paying to produce The Man in the Sea with a fish woman man. You know, you know, so I chose that word carefully there.
Did you see what I was doing there? By the way, everybody, you know I'm famous now for really looking at the ratings and the details. You're going to get them. Don't worry. They are coming. But if you look at those 2 shots, John, from the same weekend, you've got a couple in a smoochy thing. It could be like an Argentine tango. And meanwhile, those who did do the Argentine tango got 8.49 million. It's a bit like, which version of a couple do you want smooching, and which one gets 8.49 million and which one gets 3 million? It's like,
yeah.
And it's the one that doesn't dance with a fish.
Yeah, that looks like a bruised testicle. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. How many jokes can we all have, Thread? Instead of the hand jive, can you think of something fishy? Instead of the tango, what would it be? Instead of the Charleston, I mean,
Yeah.
foxtrot, the fish trot. I mean, what would the fish's trotters?
But-
I don't know what we're going to say here, but yes, I think we're going to have a bit of fun with this
Do
tonight.
you know what I'd be fascinated with as well? When's it due to launch on Disney Plus worldwide and in the US? Is it this week? Because they held it off to January worldwide, didn't they?
Well, it's a good question, because what was really weird is that Disney stayed quiet and the BBC announced that it would be on the Disney Channel in January. And you think, is Disney really embarrassed? Is Disney going to just sneak it out at midnight? It's like, whoa.
As I said to you before, it's going to be like the Echo Marvel series where they will literally dump it all in one weekend, I reckon. And just to get rid of it, it'll be done. I think that spokesperson for the BBC and what they said about, it's great. That's the classic PR tripe that they put out, isn't it? And it's like, well, if it was so great, why didn't Disney delay their decision to get out of the deal until they'd seen this go out? This is logical deduction.
I'm only dealing in facts and stats, everybody. But on top of that, why did Disney walk away from Doctor Who if it was so proud of what it had prized since the 1980s? It's always wanted its hands on Doctor Who. And as soon as it gets its hands on Doctor Who, it walks away straight away. And that's because it's successful. And I'm only throwing the stats. Richard Coleman, thank you very much. He says, did you say, Brendan, it's the last tenner from this month's pension. My goodness, this was total tripe. When I first read that, John, I thought he was talking about me. My goodness, this was total tripe. Crap writing, virtue signalling, woke mind virus from elites. I'm so sickened by it. Plus, no McTie, please. Well, I do agree with you on please, no Mac. Just freshness.
If you read that Richard Coleman, the way I'm reading it is I almost get this element of fear from him towards you. It's like you're threatening him. Brendan, please, it's my last tenner for this month's pension. Don't come round with the baseball bat.
Which text did I teach every Christmas? Christmas Carol. Which character do I know well? Scrooge. Thank you very much.
Thumbs up twice, Richard Coleman, if you need us to help you with him.
Oh, I'll be nice. I'll send you a nice little one here. Here's something that'll warm your cockles a little bit.
Yeah.
Lucky there was no fog. I'd never have found this.
I suppose we are doing the right thing, aren't we?
Stinks, Julian's not me walking, always a fallout, a fury from the deep.
Where's the Turkish drum piece this time?
Feels familiar.
Very council, Grandad.
I can't stand this. I'm having a breakdown. This has been one of the worst days of the week. The Sense Sphere. I want it shut down now. I don't like their opinions. They don't realise I'm Russell T. Davis. Russell T. The.
When I say run, run.
Run! Where are we?
Keep your eyes peeled. I have a nasty feeling.
It's a bit of tack, Grandad.
It's an antique. You're becoming millionaires. Let's rummage around and let's see what else we can source.
You mean Nick? I'm going to tell Gran.
I'll just say I was looking for the G-spot.
This is a massive warehouse of scrap.
This is what me and your Gran used to think was modern.
Look at this. And this. Oh, it stinks.
Watch what you're throwing.
It's like a repair shop in here.
Your Gran has something like this in a drawer. It's got frequencies. The Welsh windbag. He's
the
found
only,
us.
the Alpha, the Omega, and everything in between. Honest to God, the Saviour, the Christ of Doctor Who. Without me, there would be no excitement, no wildness, no humour, no...
Well, hopefully, thank you, Richard, and hopefully that cheered you up. So here we go. The Sea Devils, and I can see actually Garbage, who's obviously moderates and also does our AI. Don't forget his channel, everybody. I'm trying to fit everything in at the same time. Let me just, I always get it in the wrong place. There's Garbage Who AI. He's got some good Knight Rider blooming videos. You're going to have to get on there with Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, past 9 o'clock watershed for that, everyone, by the way.
Well, this is it. So the TV miniseries, he says, The War Between, premiered in the UK and will be released in the US at some point in 2026 on Disney Plus. A specific US release date has not yet been announced. He's been checking it up for us, so thanks for that kind of check. So
every time he writes that, you know, the abbreviation of the war between the land and the sea, I see a completely different word every time he puts
yeah,
it.
yeah, I know. So you see, so here it is, everybody. No hiding place. You can see the specials in November 23. You can see season 1 Doctor Who, season 2 Doctor Who, and you can see the blah 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 blah, the 5-part special. These are all consolidated, so we're comparing like for like, and you can see that part 1 was an outlier, John, because it got 4.3. Everybody was nosy. I had friends who were saying, "Oh, this looks quite good. I think it looks as though it's going to be a war adventure thing. I'll tune in." And they all phoned me or texted me or met me and said, "Did you know it was Doctor Who? I didn't realise." And when we saw what was going on, we actually tuned out. And therefore, you can see part 2 got 3.5. And it then still tanked another 500,000 till we got to part 5, just above 3.
I think for me, and then again, this is a sign that they don't have any confidence in the actual Doctor Who brand itself, by the fact that they took Doctor Who off of the promotional advertising for this show. It was just BBC, the war between the land and the sea. Now, and I think you're right. I think people tuned in curious. They're like, what's this then? And then after what they got, it completely threw them, took them by surprise. And they're like, no, not for me. I'll go back to watching Antiques Roadshow. That's what they did.
He's dying to play the play your cards right game. You can see he's teeing up for it already. Good to see Stefan's with us. Well, he's nursemaid tonight, and give my best to Rebecca. He's hoping that there's a new video segment because, as you know, Garbage, bless him, is always making new stuff for us. He does it for the missing episodes. The Faceless Ones is coming next, possibly next Monday. So, you know, we're trying to line stuff up. There's a Victoria gag. You can see he's mentioned it there. It won't be tonight. I'm not quite ready for it. So, Stefan, it's coming, but not quite yet. We all know the bit. We all know the bit when she said to Troughton, you know, what are those knobs for or whatever. But yes, you can see where I got my figure. 4.3 to 3.08, 1.22 million was lost. Now, when you're only starting with 4 million, John, that's 25% of your audience have gone by. And this is December, John. This is not actually Doctor Who season 1 and 2 was done in May and June. That's different. People are out. So I'm sorry, you've got a captive audience. People are in, and I don't care whether there's Netflix and everything else. You've still got a lot of people who aren't going out because it's icy.
People are no longer buying what they're selling. Now, you can be out there and you can put every spin under the sun. Oh, you know, no, those figures aren't right. It's data. It's hard data, which is showing people are tuning out of this. They're not interested in it. You know, it began with the Shooty era. It's carried on from there. And anybody who expects that at Christmas next year, you're going to get something great is going to be very sorely disappointed, because there were a lot of people I heard from that were excited about this spin-off series. And I said, I was being, I didn't want to be Mr. Negative, but I said to him, you're not. I know exactly what you're going to get. And from me seeing it, it was exactly what I expected. You're going to get that at Christmas. But the fact is, they are not learning. They're not listening to the audience and the feedback that they're receiving. And people can call you a phobe. People can say all that left, right, and center. What it comes down to, when you strip all of that away, is pure entertainment. It's not entertaining people.
And remember, I have an inclination to like Doctor Who, and I've got an inclination to like the Sea Devils and all that stuff. So when they're made, these 5 parts, and a week or so later we get the Night Manager, I've enjoyed the Night Manager.
Yeah.
It's serious. It's gritty. It's a thriller. It's cleverly written. It's well made, just like the spin-off was. But this didn't amount to anything. As you know, we had too many different... Which character was I supposed to be bothered about? I really hated the Russell Tovey character because he wasn't a hero. If he's a hero, he actually was disloyal and betrayed humanity and went off with a fish.
Yeah, you did. I can't stop laughing every time I picture that. You know, I'm just waiting for that whaling ship. I keep telling you that just to come in.
Absolute madness. So anyway, so for the details, everybody, what's happened between the overnights and the consolidated is this. So episode 1 added 1.4 million. Episode 2 added 1.5. Episode 3 added 1.2. Episode 4 added 1.5. And episode 5 added 1.2. So you see there, it's not building. Then the other thing is, if you take the outlier out, which is 4.3, the first one, because that's not the average. Part 2 to 5, you can get a better average. And the average there is 3.3, really. Because you always take the highest or the lowest out. Normally, that's what you try and do. So that's not too hot either. And just to remind everybody, in a typical December, you should be getting 45 million and about 20 to 30% of the audience. War Between the Land and the Sea was hitting between 2 and 3.3. Oh, right. So yeah, why answers on a postcard? It could have been because of this. Yeah, might be the last time we see them. Richard Coleman, who was obviously very generous. Yes, it's not fear of Brendan. I just contributed yesterday. He did, very generous too. Just adding last of my cash to it. It's like a lovely Happy New Year bonanza for me. It is appreciated. He doesn't need us. No. But it's, you're enjoying. I know. We're all joking, aren't we? I'm your servant. I wonder what the ratings would have been if Doctor Who fans hadn't watched. Well, there's another question. We'll never know, I suppose, because I think it was Doctor Who fans who were watching. The rest tuned out. This one I like to do now because I think it reveals all and it stops people from saying, I think there's a chance of a season 2. There you go. Is it better than Doctor Who? Worse than Doctor Who? Now, the easy thing for you lot to remember from a distance, just squint. Green with the specials at the beginning. Notice there at the top before everybody sussed it out. The 2 white ones are the 2 Christmas specials. Yellow are the spin-off. And yes, the one at the top is part 1. And the one at the very bottom, the 2 at the bottom are part 4 and part 5. So, what does that... Well, the arrow is going down. Red is season 1 of Doctor Who and blue is season 2 of Doctor Who. So if you squint, you know that season 1 was actually, overnight-wise, better than season 2. It's just interesting, isn't it? A lot of
diminishing
yellow,
returns.
But look at the yellow. There's 3 yellows out of 5. Really, they're around season 2 style, aren't they? Really?
Yep. So, I mean, let's ask you the question, mate. Do you think that a lot of people did tune in knowing that it was a Doctor Who series, or do you think the bulk of people just tuned in not aware that it's Doctor Who related, like your friends said to you? I tend to think that they didn't think it was a Doctor Who.
I don't think they did think it was a Doctor Who. They did a good job of not mentioning it. Richard, hope to see you again, and thanks for being very generous. Much appreciated. This is quacking me up. Yeah, well, we need a laugh when we see these figures, don't we? An unexpected fire. No, most of the people I heard, John, didn't think it was related to Doctor Who, and that's why they're tuned in. Hello, I'll say that again. They're tuned in because it wasn't Doctor Who. And then they went, hold on, this is a bit Doctor Who-ish. Bye. Yeah. That's what happened.
Do you think the other people also, they tuned out as soon as there were references to the Doctor in the episodes as well? And they're like, hang on a minute, that's it, abort. Antiques Roadshow, put it on.
I mean, we've all got different friends and that, and they're all different ages, but my anecdotes were, it was the fish bit. They were okay. One of my best mates, Nina, she said it was when her and her husband were sat on the settee and it had the build-up, you know, the expensive helicopters, the ships at sea. We had some great location shots. yeah, it was all fine. She said, I'd seen Russell Tovey in something. I know he was okay. So yeah, everything's good to go. And then she saw that fish thing in the water. And then they looked at each other. And then it was going, "Ah," and it was making strange noises like a parrot. And then she started going, I wonder if the ironing needs doing.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it just
Time for
RTD.
bed.
Yeah. If RT, you see, and this is the question, John. If it ended up turning all the mainstream viewers off and it was only the Doctor Who fans who were waiting, why didn't we just get 5 more episodes of Doctor Who?
Yeah, you know, we talked about it last year, didn't we? And, you know, well, you know, I was saying to you, they came into this whole thing extremely arrogant and they thought, we're going to run before we can walk. We're not going to wait to see how we do with season 1. We're going to film season 1 and 2 as a block. And we're also going to do a spin off as well. And we're doing the whole Whoniverse. You know, no, focus on the core show, make that good. If that season is good, then you can do the rest. But they didn't. And, you know, you reap what you sow, don't you, really?
And I've got Tomboy Chick here, Wendy, and actually Tomboy Chick over time. And if I had time to do the Disbrew amazing reviews, because he's good at it, isn't he? And he's fast. Tomboy Chick does amazing reviews on my YouTube comments, and I screenshot them, and I never get round to then thinking they would guide me doing this. But anyway, Tomboy Chick has agreed she'll come on to the Sensphere, so we're going to get her on because she's obviously got plenty of good ideas as well. Now, what I wanted to show you here, and this is the Consolidated, because as you know, John, they're obsessed with Consolidated, our media lobbies. This is the one we should look at. Now, if you look again, does it make much of a difference? Yes, season 2 of Doctor Who stank. Look at the blue. It's all down there. Yellow, well, it's just middle to diddling, isn't it? But the very interesting thing is, John, you look at the last yellow one, the end of the war, it's part 5. Part 5 Consolidated was the worst. And for those who want comparatives, and they're not going to be good, the end of the war, the spin-off, was equal to Dot and Bubble. Oh, God.
Oh, gosh. I mean, again, you know, what does that say about this production? It says, again, as I said earlier, people have checked out of what they are selling. I think I saw your show the other day, and I think you were making the point about the fact that you've got Stranger Things, which is meant to be family entertainment, which is a more darker show, and people are tuning into it. Whereas this, they seem to want to go lighter all the time, and this was their attempt at trying to do darker, which for me just didn't work. I don't think they're able to do it at that level. And again, I go back to what I said about next Christmas, and I go back to what I say about the future of the show. You know, if the same people are involved and it's a pass the baton situation onto the next guy that's in the club, you're going to get the same responses from the audience and diminishing returns, because people are just not buying the tone that they're setting for Doctor Who anymore. They're really not.
No. So if you look there, everybody, did it build an audience? Well, Homer Aqua's part 1. The end of the war is his part 5. I think that speaks volumes visually. They said, you remember after part 1, John, they were saying, oh my God, it's a brilliant premiere. It's still millions less than Star Beast, Wild Beyond the Giggle, which is where we started all this lot, but it collapsed fast. And so, you know, the story's not there. And part 1 just beat Space Babies. So, you know, for comparisons, you go, right, okay, we know where we stand here then. So, not good.
But this, again, when you look at that, you know, and for all these people that, you know, you will pass the data to them and yet they refuse to accept it. The data is there, you know, since Star Beast. You can say all of the talk about, oh, you know, TV habits and TV viewing habits have changed, you know, over the years. Just on the show, the productions of Doctor Who and its spin-off alone, you're seeing how much it's dropping like a stone over time. Now, that taking about out any other shows that are on at the moment, that is telling you that people are tuning out of this show, Doctor Who and the spin-off. They're not interested in it, you know. So you're now getting to the bottom of the barrel. And what do you do then? But again, I think sadly there's some people that you'll literally have at Christmas, you'll have one viewer say, and they'll go, oh no, one viewer is excellent because, you know, trends in TV viewing are completely different now. You know, it's like a timeshare.
The other thing to say about RTD having the final say about a new showrunner, because all his ideas work, take a look at Part 5 was the climax to the spin-off series. It got the worst views. The Empire of Death is only middle. The Empire of Death Season 1's climax got 3.2. Then the Reality War Season 2's climax got 3. Now, if you look at all those together, everybody, if I was being half decent, I'd say very average or lower quality. He has not delivered any climax resolutions that engage the audience. He loses the audience in Season 1, Season 2, and in a spin-off. This man should not be deciding who is the next showrunner because he can't land it.
No, I agree 100%. And it's, you know, I would just say that this is on the BBC and the BBC production team, you know, the people at charge, the executives, because if they, after having all of this data and everything that's gone on over the last few years, and yet they've still given him a bite at it for next Christmas, and they potentially have him involved in picking a successor, you know, a future king, so to speak. That says everything I need to know about the BBC, because it's the easiest solution they're making, not the best or the right decision and solution to the problem. You know, it needs fresh energy, fresh eyes on it to really bring it back, because it is on life support.
What is good about what the leaks we discussed yesterday and have been discussed elsewhere, of course, as well, is the BBC do look as though they've actually started to ask questions seriously. And yes, Bad Wolf might be pushing to work with Pete McTighe because I've worked with him before, but it's not working.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
let me just excuse me, move that. And what I shall do, John, is if you're happy to just look after my channel for a couple of minutes, and I will be back, everybody. You know the score. Now, somebody did say, John, before I go, I have to shout out, because of my voice, I have to go, exterminate. And somebody said, see you in a moment.
Yeah. It does look like he's in a Davros kind of life support chamber there, with him being low down in his chair tonight, doesn't it? So, yeah, you have to put up with me for a few seconds, everyone. But, yeah, so, I mean, what are your thoughts on the spin-off and the viewing figures? I mean, do you all in the chat think like me? Do you think Doctor Who is done for, you know, with it coming back at Christmas next year? Do you think we're going to get the same diminishing returns on the viewing figures? Or do you think it's going to get a major bump next Christmas when it comes back for what is alleged Rtd'S swan song? For me, I just can't see it. I just think that I think the general viewers have checked out of it now. I think that if they see our Doctor Who advertised on Christmas Day, I think a lot of viewers now are just in the mindset of, I gave you a chance on Church on Ruby Road. I gave you a chance on the other spin-off, a Christmas special. They weren't very good. I'm not being tricked into watching this one again. We'll go and put on a box set of Wallace and Gromit, you know, or something like that. That's how I think people will see things going forward with Doctor Who. And again, I don't think you can change anything unless you change the production team and the people that are associated with it. And I know I keep banging on about it, but it needs a minimum of 5 years away. 10 would be ideal, even though I would hate it, because you've got to unpick how many things in the Doctor Who franchise they've infiltrated. It's going to take an enormous amount of time to do all of that. And, you know, I'm a Big Finish fan, or early Big Finish fan, but, you know, it's happened there, Doctor Who magazine, other places. I mean, it's really sad to see, especially when you're going back to your classic box sets and you're seeing how bad Doctor Who is now and anything associated with it. You know, this is way beyond the criticism the late 80s got. But Brendan's back here, so I'll get off my soapbox.
Yeah, and the ratings have stayed level. So, no. Mr. Thanks for that. Mr. Wayne JP, I think the BBC would be remiss not to hype the 26 special to high heaven and make sure it's what the fans want. If they can't do those two things, the show needs to rest for a while. There's nothing wrong with that. Line of Duty does it. But the leak did say that they're going for that Sherlock style where basically less is more and it's higher quality and a bit movie-ish, I suppose. Oh, I don't know.
The trouble you've got with that, mate, is you're right. You know, less is more, but it's all about the writing. You know, I think I've said to you guys before, you can have billions to use for the production on effects and everything on a Doctor Who. It doesn't matter if the story is not strong, the script is not strong, with quality actors in there. It's just not going to work. It doesn't matter if you give it 1 episode or give it 50 episodes. It's still not going to get the return that they expect because people will tune out.
No. Toonami, good to see you. You always give us some good figures. The Royal Charter is up for renewal. I predict the TV license will stay, but sponsors will come in. Yeah, I think they're going to do a hybrid, aren't they? Because other channels will absolutely oppose advertising, especially Channel 4. Davey, just look at this past BBC ratings. The BBC always does well on Christmas Day, but this year really a lot lower. It won Christmas Day a lot lower. I'm going to do a stream on that, a short one soon, because it's quite distinct about TV. Ezra, good to see you again. As long as RTD's writing this special, I don't see what he will do any different. That's what my source says. He said it's just more of the same. Doctor Who needs a long rest. They need just to have a think. There's nothing wrong with thinking. It's called questioning. Me and John go away with our own respective channels and we have a think and we question things. I think any creative, big or small, should do that. Julie, I will always watch 5 minutes just in case, but I know I will be disappointed. I didn't do In Between the Land and the Sea. I was watching Stargate. And we know that because you're also watching John talk about Stargate. So yes, it all comes together.
Well, that's it. I mean, she's a legend, Julie. Thank you very much. I mean, watching Stargate, how can you not be happy while watching that? And obviously, thanks for saying that. The check will be in the post.
Yeah, there's his channel. There's his first shout out. Live every Sunday afternoon. Gallifrey 11 is him on X with Sci-Fi Chronicles 79. Sci-Fi Chronicles, there's the actual logo, so you can all look out for it.
Thanks very much. Yeah. It's good fun.
So yes, there you go, everybody. There's a visual for you on how the ratings were lost, consolidated. But this was Ratings UK said this. Despite the finale receiving the smallest audience of the series, the Doctor Who spin-off averaged 3.57 million. Up on Gatwa's second series by around I said the 400,000. Could the BBC grant a second go for another war between? Based on what?
But there wasn't a war in the first one.
I mean, they're getting very excited about basically Nout. There's the consolidators, and they're getting excited that for some reason it did better than the second season, which is in blue. But this isn't anything sexy to talk about. It ended really low down. The end of the war is starting to go in football parlance. It's in the relegation zone nearly.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, but again, this is the equivalent. These people are the ones that, these magazines, these articles now, they're like the equivalent of the football fan who basically you sack a manager because he's got you relegated. In 12 months' time, you change managers again. You're looking for a new one, and they're calling for that manager to come back, because he'll fix it. He'll turn things around. No, we don't need another go at this. They've had their go. Even Disney have basically pulled away from it. That's how bad it stinks, and there should be no spin-offs, no investment in this. Even if it was doing particularly reasonably well, I would be saying no spin-off. And why would I be saying that? Fix the main Doctor Who show. Focus on that one. That's the priority. No spin-offs. Focus on the priority, which is Doctor Who itself.
Because the truth is, if we're all being very reasonable, and that we are on this channel, there's your list of all the episodes in this era of Disney, all 26 episodes, all that money that Doctor Who's never had. And how many do you really want to watch again? And I'm being very fair. I mean, there's not many on that list at all. It's not the era at all that grabbed you. It just seemed to be. So the argument is less is more. Get a good idea and come back with that good idea, because so many of them I really wouldn't want to watch again ever.
No, and I will give RTD credit. You know, RTD1, there are lots of stories in that first era that I watch again regularly, you know, because I enjoy them. But this lot, I'm not going to watch them again. Never going to watch them again unless I'm being tortured in some sort of prison and they're playing it for me. You know, that's the only time I'll watch it again.
I think
Terrible.
even then I'd stay in my room. Alexandra, due to the nature of Christmas specials, I think Christmas 26 will attract a lot of people. The uncertainty remains for the actual next series, though, if RTD goes on. The leak, not that the leak's gospel, we hope it's right in this case, says it's his swan song. It is the end. And I hope it is, because he can't destroy his legacy anymore. I mean, he did do well, as John said, in the earlier era. He should have let it go. I mean, you know, let's do a bit of Frozen. Let it go.
I mean, can I just say, mate, with him coming back at Christmas, with everything that he's allegedly been told he's got to fix up to put into place for a new production team, so that they can just they got a clean slate and they can move forward. For me, even though I wouldn't particularly want it, if I was an exec, I'd be saying, okay, we're not just going to give you a Christmas special. We're going to give you a few more episodes as well over the Christmas period, because there's no way that you can make something entertaining and squeeze everything, all of the loopholes that all of the plot holes that he's got, into 1 hour-long show.
But
give
darling,
him a few more episodes. Yeah,
darling, it's dead easy, because just like he did with Christmas Invasion, when he thought, I'll have the Doctor, the new Doctor, in a bed with pajamas, and that's it, asleep. And what I'm going to do with the 16th Doctor is I'm going to have him in this kind of Watcher-esque locked regeneration. So the excitement is who or what is he or she, and only when they pick a new one will we show them. Oh yeah, right. That's a great sci-fi concept. It's been done to death. Yeah, maybe this is, as we said, RTD's swan song.
Now the news is in, and we learn of a Christmas special penned by Russell T Davies. What can we expect? More of the same messaging against Trump and Farage and anyone on the right, using Doctor Who as his own personal political platform. Will we be overwhelmed with more DEI and inclusivity agendas? Crazy storylines and character arcs? What classic monster or villain will he ambush and vandalize next? Stick with the Sense Sphere to experience the next stormy waters for Doctor Who. Let's see what he serves up next. Dog's bollocks, or more like a dog's breakfast. Whatever happens, the Who pets welcome you on board.
Those Who pets looked a little bit too happy in the sweatshop, mate. You might have to get at them.
I know, I'll have to get at them. And of course, good old garbage with the AI. Mr. Wayne, thank you. Is the title The Lost Doctor confirmed? No, it's not confirmed. It's a working title anyway. That it's a leak. The leak may not be right, but we're going by the fact that it's been right most of the time. But it's a working title. I doubt that'll be the last version.
I know. I don't want to sound like the miserable old git in the corner, but the Lost Doctor and all of that. I mean, it's just tiring at this point. You know, I want something exciting that isn't. I know he's written himself into a corner, but from what you were saying the other day on the leaks, it's just got too much now. I mean, self-importance of.
Well, I was only saying last night, the Lost Doctor is a bit like Christmas Invasion, is a bit like the Next Doctor, is a bit like it's a mixture of a lot of that stuff. And we've had Doctor Light stories. I don't want a Lost Doctor. Some would argue since Capaldi we have not had the Doctor. So we don't want another story saying you haven't got the Doctor. It's like, oh, come on. Just give us the blooming Doctor doing stuff. Don't make Barclay spin-off the everyman hero. I don't want that. Get rid of him. Drown him. I want the Doctor being the hero back on the screen.
Do you know what really, really annoys me about the fact that how much money allegedly they had from Disney? How many years I was, being a big Finnish fan, and growing up reading the Dalek comic strips, for money that you could do, not even at an overly expensive amount these days, you could have done a mini series on a Dalek war. You could have done a mini series on a Cyberman invasion. Not necessarily on this planet. Not that invasion, no. Where they're simulating them from.
John, that's added effect. That's added effect. That's an upgrade. It's an upscale.
Looks like he's breastfeeding as well, mate, to be honest.
That's what money gets you, everybody, apparently. So yeah, I know it. I'm being naughty here, but I want to make sure I don't forget to say thank you to Mr. Wayne, because the Hoopettes obviously will have a holiday now. With your good, I'll treat my wife to a blue rinse. There we go. So thank you, Mr. Wayne. Always say thank you. So there's an example of one of the 15-minute breakdowns. This one was we lost an audience. Just want to remind you. Now, there you go. If you want to look at it that way, there's the consolidated put another way. The numbers are all thrown at you on the screen, but you can see, to be quite honest, where is the argument that this was better than Doctor Who?
No,
it's just not there. So don't worry. I'm not going to dwell on millions of figures, everybody, because there's fun to come with John, and play your cards right. He's got to guess the figures. Even when you start, with doing a spin-off, it's difficult doing a spin-off from what was a successful franchise show. Look at how, if you look at the behind the scenes productions on, Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Voyager, when they were trying to launch them, they didn't know if it was going to work. But the fact is, they're doing it at a time when the show is at rock bottom for an audience appreciation. And that's a risky game in itself. And again, I'll go back to what I said earlier. Why even commission a spin-off just because you've got Disney money? Throw everything into doing the Prime show, make it good. And as you said, why are you doing episodes of a spin-off when you could have been doing episodes of Doctor Who? Yeah, too right. I can see Lance Uppercut. There's lots of people. The Daily Mirror today, and thank you, Wendy, for sending it. But the Daily Mirror had an article with Capaldi apparently saying why current Doctor Who's not working and all the rest of it. It was from, bless him, that channel that did that big interview on YouTube, which I then did a stream on. And I did a full discussion. If you look at my latest streams, everybody, the live ones, just find the Capaldi one. Were you on that one, John?
Yeah, I was on that one. And you credited the channel as well, which is what you should do. Did the Mirror credit the channel?
I don't know. So the Daily Mirror, that whole article, Lance Uppercut, is from the YouTube interview, which I did a stream on as well to take the tasty bits. And then the Mirror's done that today, weeks later. Gosh, they're so behind the news. But yes, you said you've not read it yet. Well, you don't need to read it. Just watch the 2 YouTube shows and we'll cover everything.
It's a couple of weeks before Christmas, wasn't it? We did it.
Yeah,
something
it
like
was.
That.
Just look for Capaldi's head from on the YouTube from me, and you'll get all the discussion, and you'll not have to even bother with the Mirror. Right. 8th to the 14th of December, the consolidated. How did it compare? Now, I'm doing this, John, to give you help, because when I do the trick with episode 5, you're going to get no help. So here you go. You can see the episode 3, The Deep, got 3.7. It was in 12th place. Whee! Right?
Yeah.
I then had to go ducking and diving all the way to 33rd place to find episode 4. Yeah. It just got behind 24 Hours in Police Custody. I mean, this is when it gets fun, this.
Successful show, everybody.
Yeah. I think we need a second series of 24 Hours in Police Custody. Let's do 48 Hours in Police Custody. I mean, it beat the 1% rollover.
Yeah.
It beat Countryfile. I mean, you know, this is a beast.
I mean, again, you cannot even argue the case for a continuation of it at this point. If I've said to you, we've talked about this before. If you're an exec at the BBC and someone says to you, walk in, they go, right, okay, we'd like a spin-off to continue in the second season. And they go, okay, let's have a look at the figures. If you know your data and you're looking at that, you're going, no, no, it's not happening. Why would we do that? Where's the sense in it?
I'll be fair, because you know there's all the ones who say, you know, there's 2 episodes we're looking at here. One is the one we were joking about. Now the one that did better, The Deep, obviously beat Man vs Baby from Netflix. It beat some of the Emmerdales and Coronation Streets. It was less than The Wheel and I'm a Celebrity, so that's where it is. It's just out the top 10. That's the truth of it. Now, is everybody ready to play the game for the episode 5 consolidated? How it all finished, and this is when John is running blind.
Yeah.
Hey, so we're gonna end up playing our version of Play Your Cards, right, everybody? So join in, everybody. How well did the spin-off finish against lots of our top programs? Hey, I feel as though I should be a bit more American and a bit upbeat. Right, here we go, John. No help from the audience. No, yeah. Right, everybody. The very important documentary series called Inside Marks and Spencer's. Did episode 5 of the Consolidated beat it or not?
No.
Do you think it would be close, or do you think it would? Do you think?
I think the power of M&S's chocolate brand completely blows War Between the Land and the Sea out of the water. Excuse the pun.
So you think M&S won?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we all watching this, everybody? How this goes? So, is John right? Oh, it was a close one, John. It was a close.
I'm sorry, but we're talking about Consolidated. It's just minusculely beating Inside M&S, and people are calling for a second series.
Yeah, I know. Of M&S.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, how much did Inside M&S cost? Oh, well, we just needed a handy cam and we went to the local M&S store. How much did War Between the Land and the Sea cost? Well, we're not prepared to reveal that, but we were given a check allegedly for over 100 billion.
But in Inside M&S, they did go into the kind of frozen foods area with fish. So
yeah, that's going to give you a bump. Yeah, it is. It is like a head of salt in there, you know.
So,
oh dear.
What are we saying here? That the blockbuster with Disney money and a big franchise backing it with Unit and everything, it beat Inside M&S by 60,000 people. Right, okay. I can see why they really need the Consolidated. Do you want to try another one now, John?
Yeah, let's do it.
You're losing 1-0 at the moment. Right, okay, here's another one.
Got to try and pull it back.
Countryfile. Oh, that one about sheep dip and about, you know, whether there's a mudslide and, you know, whether your cow's ill.
And the crops right, yeah.
Yeah, so what do you reckon? Do you think the blockbuster spin-off series with Disney money beat sheep dip?
No.
You think Countryfile won?
I think Countryfile won.
Right. Shall we check it out, everybody? Here we go.
Oh,
you're a non-believer, John. You're a non-believer.
Yeah, I know. I'm clearly biased towards the destruction of the show.
Sea devils always trump a cow, a mad cow.
Well, it had Helen Skelton on it, and I thought she might pull in a few viewers as well, to be honest. So that was part of my thinking.
Well, didn't we always like All Creatures Great and Small when they stuck the hand up the cow? You know, Peter
Yeah,
Davison
yeah.
and Christopher
Don't give them ideas, mate. If they got a season 2, they'd be putting that in the spin-off, wouldn't they?
Well, look at our thread. They're all with you, John. They all just don't believe in Doctor Who anymore. It's a shame, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a damn shame. These are all consolidated. The overnight's garbage. I'll show with the night manager one.
Can I just say as well, that image you've got of Country File,
Yeah.
honestly, who sits and smiles like that?
Well, he does when he doesn't have to be forced to snog a fish. So he's a happier man.
Yeah, it's like
Now, here's another big one, folks. I hope the Americans, Canadians, and Australians understand this is just a simple game show on Saturday tea times. So this is Alan Carr. He's one of our stand-up comedians. He won the Celebrity Traitors. You may have noticed that. The Aussies were watching that. And he does this. So it's a picture slam, it's called. So, John, you're losing 2-0 at the moment, so all street cred's just going. It's evaporating. Like
it is. I'm done. I'm leaving YouTube after this, so I might as well.
So, do you think Alan Carr's Picture Slam won, or do you think the spin-off episode 5 won?
I think Picture Slam won purely because it's Alan Carr and he does pull in an audience.
Okay, all right, let's have a look.
Oh,
you see, people are not believing in this spin-off series.
People like fish, don't they? People like fish.
Yeah. Lance Uppercut, 7 days bar. It's about the 28 days, people. Yeah, I know, but we haven't got them yet. We're trying our best with all of them. It's a bit of fun, but
I'm moving the goalposts. Yeah, like Battlefield now is extremely successful, you know, because if we can keep moving the goalposts, you know, Battlefield's one of the most successful viewing figures ever in the show.
Yeah. The other thing I'll say to Lance Uppercut is they make headlines out of this. They're all talking about who's done well in the top 10 and that based on the consolidated, and they do tell us off about the consolidated. The 28 days will come in, but the truth is, Lance Uppercut, the consolidated between 7 days and 28 days hardly changes, and the very honest truth is 7 days to 28 days, it's the same person watching twice, 3 times. We've got to be honest there. And on YouTube, you can't cheat like that. So these are the honest figures, really. Right, Emmerdale, John, you are obviously in a right pickle. You're 3-0 down. So Emmerdale or spin-off episode 5 wins?
Episode 5.
Right, you see he's now trying to hit right. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, how can you not believe that Emmerdale would whop it?
I mean, I'm just speechless now. You know, my instincts, my Jedi tricks are way off base now, aren't they? What can I say? You know, people prefer the soap Emmerdale to War Between the Land and the Sea. You know.
Well, Dalek Shalom made me think of Destiny of the Daleks when you had the Movellans and Davros and you had Lalla Ward and the Fourth Doctor. We did a deep dive on that season, didn't we? And of course, you know, when it's paper, scissors and all the rest of it, and they kept doing that to talk about logic and being unpredictable. He says fish beats sheep, apparently. Well, we could now say what? So fish loses to Louise Jameson in a lesbian affair.
Is she in a lesbian affair in that show now?
Poor Louise Jameson. She's been in Tenko and starved to death as a prostitute, Blanche. She's been screaming and attacked by a giant rat that looked like a womble. And now she's in a lesbian affair in Emmerdale, yeah.
Did she get killed off in Corriedale?
Nearly everybody did, it looked like. Spoilers. So I think, John, you're losing 4-0. Now we've got Blankety Blank. Everybody knows Blankety Blank. They've all got slightly different names in Australia, Canada, and America, but Blankety Blank. Blankety Blank, Blankety Blank. So, again, would Blankety Blank beat the episode 5 or vice versa?
It shouldn't, but I think it has.
You think it has? Okay, let's have a look.
Hey, there you go. He's pulled one back.
You've got one back, but my God, it wasn't close.
Yeah, I'm going all out attack now to try and bring it back. Yeah, well,
I mean,
again, look at that. Production costs again. Anybody?
can everybody just take a chill pill and look at this? It lost by over 1.1 million. A game show where you just fill in a blank, and then something with Disney money, made in Mallorca, helicopter shots, drone shots, CGI. Next. I mean, yeah, it is shocking. It really is shocking.
Terrible.
Jeremy
Terrible.
Carr, the Americans understand the war between land and sea is garbage. So many watched initially, checked out after first episode again. I think numbers will be far worse when it releases here officially. Yeah, because word is out. I agree with what you're saying. The word is out, and the word is out is bad. It's like Rotten Tomatoes. So
Trouble we've got is I don't think where it's on Disney Plus, we're not going to get the official figures from Disney. That's never going to happen. The only thing that you're going to get is what's the TV service in the US? There's a built-in TV data source that comes out now, which is reasonably reliable. So we'll see from that on whether it hits and Disney, and whether it hits Disney's top 10s of the week as well.
Yeah.
That's a teller.
Now, I was given confidential stuff that I can't really use yet, but all I'll say anecdotally is, having looked at that confidential data, it didn't even flicker the gauge in America. Season 1 and 2 of Doctor Who. So I can't see how this would. David Harding in Toronto's asking this. Haven't the British soaps all been in a ratings decline over the last decade? And yet Emmerdale has whopped the spin-off, I think, is the point we're making there. Michael Nemo, good to see you've joined, and thank you very much. American here with a question. Is there anything comparable to Doctor Who on the air over there? Do shows similar to Doctor Who beat it, or is there nothing? As my source said a while back, there's a dearth of sci-fi on British telly, really. British-made sci-fi. John, can you think of anything? You do Sci-Fi Chronicles, you might think of something.
What, over in the US?
Over here?
Over here. Not anything of recent note, no. Again, UK wise, I think they're kind of dried up on doing a lot of sci-fi at the moment. Maybe they've seen what's happened on this and on Doctor Who, and they thought, it's a risky game, we better not go into it. But the only thing in the US we've got coming imminently is Star Trek Academy, and to be honest with you, that could be on a par for beating how bad Doctor Who was, because that is looking disgracefully bad.
Oh God! So thank you very much for that, Michael.
Roll up, and see these funny little creatures in the native habitat. Jump!
Oh, stop it, Doctor. It's not funny.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we've just seen the ratings. So, on our next one, while John's just getting himself ready, Antiques Roadshow. Now, we all know with Antiques Roadshow, ooh, where would you... Now, you're 4-1. You've got all to play for. 4-1. Do you reckon that the consolidated for Antiques Roadshow or the consolidated for episode 5 won?
Antiques Roadshow.
Right, you heard it here first, everyone. He's 4-1 down, and he's put all his money on Antiques Roadshow. So here we go. Ooh, you've done it.
Hey, yeah, coming back into it now. Is there a second leg?
Now, based on the nonsense that you see on the newspaper articles, they say if you get 400,000 more than the last season of Doctor Who, do a new series. Well, this is 210,000 behind Antiques Roadshow.
I mean, again, again, people who are making these decisions have got this data. Why would you commission it? And again, I've got to ask the question as well. They've had this data. Why are you still going forward with allowing Russell T Davies to write a Christmas special? Surely you would be saying at this point, look, we haven't actually got into a production as such and filming yet. Let's pull it for now. Let's rethink. Let's retread. That's what a sensible production team would do. But they've announced it.
But doesn't RTD want to go and be a showrunner for Antiques Roadshow, please, or something like that?
Oh, you imagine what he'd do with that. You'd had all kinds of crazy people showing
You'd
you
have
the antiques.
Fiona Bruce would have to fart when they announced the price.
Yeah.
Alexandra, to be fair, Emmerdale always had relatively similar viewing figures to Doctor Who, despite its very low budget. In 2010, both Emmerdale and Series 5 ended with 7 millions. Thanks for that, Alexandra. Somebody's gone down and somebody has gone less down. Ooh. Right. Okay, it's 4-2 now, John. Now, this is Michael McIntyre, all you people abroad, another stand-up comedian of ours who has this expensive game show, The Wheel, and all the celebrities spin round. It's another quiz show. Now, John, which one wins, The Wheel or the spin-off?
It's got to be Wheel for me.
The Wheel. Is that controversial, everybody? He's 4-2 down. He can't mess about now.
Whee!
Now, John, again, a game show with a spinning wheel. That's it. Is beating Doctor Who's spin-off by, to be quite honest, 1.9 million.
Yeah, and can I remind everybody that, you know, in 2023, when it was all coming back, RTD was talking about the Whoniverse. We were going to take over the world. It was going to be bigger than ever. You know, we've got a global partner in Disney Plus. And yet you're talking about, when they were talking about trying to break America, they can't even break the UK now. Not anywhere near it. So it just shows how all these people that keep going back to about saying, oh, it's doing well, it's doing great. You just hate it. No. The data says that the viewing figures are going down. Disney have pulled out of the deal. The Whoniverse has been a failure. Everything that RTD said about being global and being bigger than ever has failed. It is now a UK thing with people watching abroad. How much more information do you need to know that it's a failure and it's on life support? That's where we are with it.
We always know, and the TV ratings have always done this. You sometimes, This Is Your Life used to be really high up. I remember in the 70s, and you'd go, you know, you tuned into This Is Your Life if it was somebody really famous or somebody that you liked. The rest of the time, you didn't bother watching. That was me anyway. Sorry, I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah.
So there were always some strange ones. Give Us a Clue with Michael Parkinson and Lionel Blair and Liza Goddard, you know. Basically charades. That was always high up. So there's always something like that. But everybody, come on, read the room. We're not even close. 1.9 million behind. Come on, if you're counting all the, you know, if you've got your abacus in the BBC, are you going to commission 8 episodes of Doctor Who or a spin-off? And that's why we're in the predicament we're in. They're going to try a Christmas special, but they're not going to give another series of 8 episodes to RTD. They're not, because it's not working.
But the trouble you've got as well is what we were saying earlier about the fact it's just going to be handed off to an understudy of RTD. You know, he's the kingmaker, isn't he? That's what's going to happen. And the problem being with that is that it's not going to get the returns they want. You can see also, and I bet they're also thinking along the lines of, they think that Doctor Who's such a big franchise that the brand, the merchandise sales alone is, they need to do this to keep it going. The merchandise is on life support. And why is the merchandise on life support with the exception of the collection sets? It's because the main show is terrible. And the spin-off that they've put out is terrible. So if you're not making good quality shows, people are not going to go and want to buy your merchandise unless you're a very, very small clique, you know.
Yeah, because
it's logical.
If you wanted, you know, we had all this sea adventure for 5 episodes, and you can see how well it's going. And I'm giving John thinking time with Have I Got News for You? Quiz show in Britain, 30 minutes. That's it, really. Compare that to good old Doctor Who.
What are you doing here?
You have to...
Faster than the second hand on a watch.
You have to move faster than that if you want to keep up with me. We're not even moving yet. Hardly cruising speed. I don't exist anymore.
What can you see?
Undercurrents. Bringing things to the surface. I I can't stay.
You promised.
I'm here.
You don't believe.
Evil needs a body. He hasn't found one yet.
It's not true. You don't believe it.
I believe in good. No! 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 What's he doing?
Don't touch him! Don't touch anything!
The time is now. The chains of Fenric are shattered. The gods have lost the final battle.
We play the contest again. Time.
So good. That is my era. That's my childhood. And again, I think this is why, I'm detached from what we're seeing now, but it took me a while to get over it because of what they'd done to the show. I was quite angry about it. But when I look at the route that was going at that point, when you had that story, Curse of Fenric, and the way they were going to potentially progress into a future season, and they never got it. And you look at what we get now and the rubbish that they keep putting out, and you're like, how on earth is that getting greenlit? I mean, it does make your blood boil. It really does.
It does. And I also, because I had it already ready, I thought, well, the sea theme, the herbivores coming out the water, it was well directed.
I thought you were going to have them. I thought you were going to have one of them fart or something at one point. I was waiting for it, to be honest.
I didn't want to do that, although next week, Monday night, I think it is, missing episodes, the Faceless Ones, me and Stefan might mess around.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe we've got to walk into Bad Wolf Studios, mate, and do what the Seventh Doctor does, with the Faith, where we're just naming all of the producers and showrunners from History of Who. They're all screaming.
Well, we're giving them all thinking time here. I mean, obviously, Curse of Fenric, quite rightly, is getting a lot of praise.
Wonderful.
And obviously, we are all Doctor Who fans. I'm well aware of that. And giving you a little treat while you're watching us is obviously part of the fun. Stephen Braddock watched it over Christmas. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, wonderful.
Now, have I got news for you? Now, in the thread, people are reckoning, Tomboy Chick has said it's definitely better, but I think it might be close. John, what do you reckon? I'm Your Servant thinks they'll win by a whisker.
Yeah, I think the spin-off will win by a whisker.
Okay, now you're 4-3 down. Here we go. You think the spin-off will win? Oh! Ooh. It lost by 1 million.
Dear me.
I mean, go fathom this. It lost to a very cheap. Look, whether you like it or not, it's a very cheap format, isn't it? It's just
production costs are minimal.
Oh, get a few cuttings of some newspapers, take a blank out, get a few people to try and make some weak political jokes, and that's it. I mean, and I'm going to sit there as the commissioning editor of BBC One saying, here's 50 million.
Yeah.
No, it's not happening. That's why they're doing a Christmas special only. And they're trying still to get a streamer. And they're trying to get a new showrunner. And I don't think they are going to give it to Pete McTighe. Because I think the BBC now have balls of steel. And they realise that they cannot just keep giving it to the first choice of the person leaving. It has to be somebody who's going to go in a room and treat it like a job interview.
Pitch, yeah.
And respect Doctor Who and say, do you know what? I've made this, and this. I've never made sci-fi, but I'm fascinated by what we could do with Doctor Who in 2028. So that's what I want. I don't want people saying, I've got a really fantastic idea for Sutek. I'm going to put him on the TARDIS. I've got a really good idea for Omega. I'm going to make him anorexic. I've got a really good idea for the Master. I'm going to make him into a tooth. The fans are going to lap it up. Go away.
Well, you're right, and we've talked about this on a previous show as well. But it's also the case of, with these BBC execs, and the source has said about the fact they want the easiest path to make a decision. And no, do your job. If someone comes in, for me, if I was sat there and someone was pitching to me and they were going, yeah, well, this story, what we're going to do is we're going to bring back links to Sontaran, you know, and then in this one, we're actually going to bring back the abominable snowmen. And it'll be like, well, I'd be like, well, hang on a minute. No. How about you go away and you create new monsters? Then we'll talk about it down the road about bringing back classic monsters. That's how it should be. You're meant to come up with fresh new monsters and ideas. If you can't do that, then you shouldn't be writing it. And the exec shouldn't be in charge of choosing who gets it.
Now look
know?
what Wendy said here. It lost to a satirical comedy news panel. How ironic. RTD likes to be political, but he's lost to a satirical comedy show. Oh dear me. But don't give him ideas to do more jokes, because his jokes don't work. Yeah, I know. Michael Nemo, thank you. I'd be curious about sales figures for character options. To believe it or not, the recent ones that were exclusive online, I haven't ordered them yet. I hope the stuff's still available. But the master with the you know, his TARDIS from Castrovalva and Logopolis, it was sold out in the end. You know, the Beat the Meep sold out. So there's your actually,
there's an example of it. But again, for me, if Doctor Who was really firing on all cylinders, you wouldn't have them being sold at, say, B&M. You would have them in Smith's Toys and lots of other places as well. You know, you'd have the radio-controlled Daleks back again to buy, you know, all of that stuff. It's just not... They are great, but the rest of it is not selling. I mean, now, that apart from that, what do you get? You get pin badges and stuff with Jinx Monsoon on them.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not going to sell. It's tat.
But remember, it's not tat. You can get stones of blood, sense for your underpants. You can get underwater menace swimming trunks, thanks to, you know, we've got a merchandise line that goes as far as my finger.
Do you know Brendan was actually modelling them for the catalogue in the snow yesterday? so that video and the catalogue will be coming soon.
And to fully answer Michael's question, I think I read somewhere the Sensorites did not sell. I love the Sensorites and I've got them, but they didn't outsell. And I think the Rathrorias are actually winning. I have to say, I think that is the truth. I know why your guess is that, but I don't think that has actually panned out. So, first of all, my thank you to you. So what can I do? Oh, a bit more RTD, do you think?
Why not?
I see more for Grandis.
Does that mean big fish?
Yep.
Oh, bless. So it's actually, I think we've got to 4-4. No, 5-3. 5-3, because you mucked that one up. You mucked that one up. So
thanks, mate. Thanks. No pressure.
No, I did. If you were listening earlier, I did mention the Night Manager, so you might know the answer to this. So I'm giving you a chance. So the Night Manager. Which one won on the overnights?
Night Manager.
Night Manager. So there you go. I've given him a freebie there.
Yeah.
3.3. So 5-4. And I have to say, as I said earlier, I love Doctor Who. Give me expensive looking Doctor Who, and in other words, well made, but well written, and I'd be fantastically happy. But I've preferred the Night Manager. It was gritty. It was enjoyable to watch. It had I could follow it. And I wasn't taken out of it with breaking the fourth wall or any nonsensical representation. It had representation in there. It was fine.
Did he get angry at the end of the episode at somebody that dropped a Mars bar wrapper on the floor and he just put 5 rounds rapid into them? Did that happen, mate? Or
I don't think he cried. I don't think Huddleston has cried or anything like that. So that's another hint. Now the Royal Variety Performance, John. Royal Variety Performance, hey. With a variety of comedians and jugglers and gymnasts and whatever else you want on a stage,
Dancing Dogs, yeah.
The Hoopets, yeah, dancing as the dogs are on it. And we've got some good old royal guards there. So, what do you reckon? Which one won?
I'm going to go Royal Variety.
Royal Variety, you think wins. You're 5-4 down.
Because we're British, you know, it's tradition.
That's what I showed a few weeks ago on what it's been getting. And I knew it had gone down, but then it bumped back up again this year. Oh,
hey!
So there you go, 5-5. But yeah, a Royal Variety performance, which is basically getting a load of celebs in for one night. I don't watch it anymore, really, John.
No.
1 million more. 1 million. When you're only dealing with 4 million, you're talking about 25% chunk is going to the other side.
Do you know, it's amazing how times change, isn't it? Because, you know, when you talk about RTD1 and you're talking about peak X Factor versus peak 2005 era Doctor Who and who was going to win that, and you're talking about those viewing figures, it's night and day now, isn't it? You know, but then I know times have changed, but again, it still proves that you can spin it as much as you want, but it's about quality, and people have basically decided they'd rather watch Royal Variety performance.
Times have changed, we understand, and it has to happen. But what's happened is Doctor Who and its spin-offs have not kept up with the competition. RTD has not kept up with the competition, and everybody else, Strictly and Doctor Who, came on together and were level pegging. And Doctor Who would beat Ant and Dec. I wouldn't dare put Doctor Who against Ant and Dec now.
No, not a chance. And I also think as well, you know, I actually think that when they put all of this diverse stuff in the shows now, with the exception of RTD, I mean, RTD on the LGBTQ front, he's a promoter of it. We know that. But with the climate change stuff and everything, I don't think they're true believers in it at all. I actually think they put it in there because they think, do you know what? That'll get us some views. That'll get us a spike in viewership if we do that, if we chuck that in. And it's not that they're so disconnected from the general audience. You're going to get a small base that will, and they'll fist pump and go, yeah, Kate told him to pick up his water bottle, you know, with a gun. But general viewers are just sighing and looking away when they see that.
And my honest truth is, I'm sorry, as I watched The Night Manager a week later after the spin-off, there was representation there. Clearly, there is a DEI agenda at the BBC, but it didn't bother me because there was no messaging. There was just no messaging. It was just pure thriller. So, as usual, the British public are fine, and they can see when some DEI is going on. And you know what? If you don't labour, on a trowel and don't put a blooming big message next to it, people are fine.
Yeah, and I still think, mate, if you make something quality, whatever era it is, people are going to watch it because you get the first batch of people that are excited for it, and then word of mouth spreads. From a positive word of mouth spreads, more people watch it, and it grows from there. But obviously, I would say with this spin-off, it started reasonable, it's dropped, but then the word of mouth has just been, what's that flipping war rubbish stuff.
Well, that's why Traitors took off eventually.
Yeah.
Now, Beyond Paradise. I've never watched it, by the way, Beyond Paradise. I know that it's on different locations. David Harding is asking the question, is it possible that the UK public are just bored of RTD? Is that a rhetorical or is that a statement? I reckon Bungle Bear, Disney's decision to walk away has been fully vindicated. I know, they saw the same figures. Obviously, just before you speak, Tomboy Chick says Chris Marshall would have been a good Doctor.
Not for me. I mean, I remember before Jodie got cast, he was linked heavily, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't think he would be. But then now, with how bad it's got, you take him in a heartbeat, wouldn't you?
Maybe it's a game changer. Right now, it's 5-5. It's nip and tuck. This, everybody. John, he could balls it up now. So, John, Beyond Paradise, in its consolidated figures, did it beat episode 5 of the spin-off?
Can I just ask, was this on BBC or was this on BritBox?
Oh, no, I've got BritBox there. It was on BBC. It was on BBC, yeah.
Okay, so I would say Beyond Paradise.
Okay,
Because
what does everybody?
I know some people in the US who actually mention this to me, and they go, "Oh, do you watch that?" And I said, "No, I watched the original. I've never watched this, but they really enjoy it. It's
Yeah.
relaxing."
Yeah, I know it's now in the Caribbean. I think. So here we go.
Hey, here you go. Look,
So John is winning 6-5 now, but it's not even. They're both dramas. They're both expensively made. I would, from the
not
bits
anywhere
I've,
near what war is
yeah, from the
costing.
bits I've seen of Beyond Paradise, and you get bits and bobs. It's, as you said, relaxing. It's kind of warm. Um, People relate to the characters and like them in these settings and situations, whereas the spin-off was just turning people away because it wasn't anything we could. Come on, episode 2 was just staring at a fish tank and offering it a plant or a shrub as a diplomatic gesture. Come on, this was boring. Episode 3 was going down a diving bell just to kind of splat on the floor and be
Yeah.
stared at by big fish.
Do you
Episode
know
4
what?
was all over the shop.
Do you know what I also think is part of it as well, of why people tune into something like Beyond Paradise? Because I have seen a couple, because Mum watches them, and I think from a production side, they've got their office, police office, and it's like a small production office with about 4 desks in it, and then it's like a lot of location shoots and stuff around picturesque towns of where it's set. I think it's Cornwall it's set, I think, off the top of my head. But do you know what I find that's different between that and War Between the Land and Sea? Yes, I get that this is a sci-fi show, War Between the Land and the Sea, but when you talk about you see the characters in these shows and the guest actors in the shows, they come across as realistic as what you would expect to an extent of if you went to that town, you would meet that kind of person. When you go and watch something like War Between the Land and the Sea, they they go over the top with characters. If you know what I mean, it makes sense. It's like a hyper version of just a general person, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's
white
not.
man bad and all of that nonsense. It just doesn't feel organic.
And like a lot of the stuff that happened in season 2, as an example, it didn't go anywhere. Rust was it was mentioned as a weapon, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
There was just loads of, as usual, Mrs. Flood, nothing happened, blah blah blah. Now, Stephen O'Neill said the simple fact is that people just want quality drama on a Saturday or Sunday night without being bombarded with political messages. Is that too much to ask? Leave the politics in the House of Commons, because none of us watch it really. Now, quick fire ones here, just so this game's over. You're winning 6-5. Sports personality of the year, everybody. If you don't live in Britain, it's obviously when it's the big awards ceremony. Normally, we used to be quite big, actually. It just covers Olympics, Commonwealth Games, football, rugby, darts, everything, Grand Prix, and who are the best, as voted by the British public. So, what do you reckon, John? Who wins this one?
Sports personality of the year.
Okay, that's what you think.
Oh,
you
clever.
see, it's gone very woke, you see. If I've stopped watching it, I used to watch it.
I was going to say, is that Alex Scott or whatever her name is? She's insufferable. She is really painful.
It's just interesting. You've got 3 female presenters. I'm going to say no more. They've changed a few things around, and you get a few songs and that. They used to just get on with it. But anyway, 2.6 million for the sports personality, but 3.08 million for our spin-off. So it's now 6-5 against John. Quick fire.
I mean, that's an indictment of the BBC, though, isn't it? The fact that BBC Sport was like one of the cornerstones of the BBC. Doctor Who was a big franchise as well. Both of them are struggling. What does that say? About how bad things are these days with the BBC. Terrible.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Kevin Taylor, the newly found classic episodes will get higher viewing figures than the forthcoming Christmas special. Oh, Kevin, we pray for that. Me and Stefan are talking about it all the time. We're on standby when they hopefully announce soon. Film is fabulous, because, my God, it will whop anything.
Yeah.
And quite rightly, we've waited a long time to see these missing episodes. So, John, just as a wrap up, just about Coronation Street or the spin-off, which one?
I'm going to say Coronation Street.
Right, he's 6'5" down. He has to be careful.
Hey.
It wasn't close. It wasn't even close. So, yes, David Harding, the rumours about the soaps have dwindled, but they're still beating the spin-off easily. Easily.
Without a doubt. And can I also say something? I read an article today, and it was talking about Corriedale, the spin-off, yesterday. And they were saying, off the top of my head, they said it got like in total, it got something like 4 million overnight. And they said, which was good. And they said in there, this was I'm paraphrasing, but this was good viewing figures for the two soap shows that have been struggling with viewing figures. Now that's said in an article. So if that is beating War Between the Land and the Sea, and people in articles are saying that they've been struggling with viewing figures, what does that tell you about the spin-off?
It's just shocking. Everything's about money. Of course it is. I think the worst indictment for Russell T Davies is, for some reason, I just don't think he's valued the money he's been given to spend. And I say that, and I really mean that. I've never been a showrunner, but if you decide that every week you just have to be in a different setting and you have to have different actors, you've just doubled and tripled the budget for any reason in particular, because you said we can't have a 3-episode story. Well, if we had a 3-episode story, one setting, one set of actors, cheaper. You know, come on. They thought they were getting away with it by putting them back to back, because as my source said, that will have saved them some money. But apart from that, that's just about booking the actors and stuff like that. But no, they didn't save enough. But Coronation Street has a set, a bit like the unit set. It's there all the time, a bit like the Rtd'S set. You know, how you doing? Oh, I've got cancer. You're having an affair. Oh, I'm having a baby. That's all it is. Oh, sorry, it sounds like Doctor Who. So then, come on, let's wrap this up. EastEnders then. Does EastEnders do the trilogy here? Does it do the trifecta? Does it also beat the spin-off? Or am I being a bit devious?
It doesn't.
You think which one? You're thinking the spin-off wins?
Yes.
And it's 6-6 at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is the decider, is what we're saying.
It is a decider, yeah.
Oh, everybody, here we go. Oh dear, John.
Yilden reigns supreme.
Maybe it's always next year, John.
yeah. We should do it with RTD sat with us next time. That would be a lot more fun.
Yeah. Or don't ask RTD to predict the viewing figures. Oh, it'll be epic. Oh, it'll be amazing. Everybody's gonna watch. You'll be amazed. Watch the credits.
So
the news is on. Why do we need to watch the credits? Get a gun out for the plastic bottle bit.
And every time that we say that, oh, you know, you lost look, you lost on that, he'll go, yes, but it did very well in the dynamic between the 10s and the 11-year-olds. It did very well in that dynamic.
Yeah. and
the carp were watching. You know,
and we've heard that people in a care home with dementia are really loving it. You know, I mean, honestly, he goes so niche, it's beyond belief. And all it needs is to be pepped up a bit. Make it action. John, I've got an idea.
In 2024, a crack team of puppets began working for an ex-school teacher, Brendan. In 2025, the puppets promptly escaped from a house in County Durham and went into hiding. Today, they survive as puppets of fortune. If you have a problem and you need help and you can find them, you can hire the Who Pets.
ain't watching no spin-off, fool.
So the figures are all there. We've been through them. I thought instead of showing it that way, I'll do it in a different way just to finish off. I quite enjoyed that. That was a bit different, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it's great.
So that was, and just to finish off, everybody, even Channel 4 and 5 had some mixed successes. And there you can see them. 24 Hours in Police Custody has given the spin-off a run for its money. I mean, and you know, I mean, honestly, I laugh, I grieve, I just think, and remember, I'm going to have to say this again. I didn't want any of this to fail. I was actually looking forward a bit more to having seen the trailer. I thought, oh, they're taking this more seriously. I think this spin-off might do a bit better than Doctor Who. And I knew I was going to be torn, because if it was good, I'd have been gutted that they didn't put the same kind of seriousness into Doctor Who. But as it was easy. I watched it and I thought, no, it was just the same again. I'm sorry. It's the same.
As I said to you, you know, I came back in good faith for the 60th, you know, Star Beast and the 60th when RTD was coming back. And when I saw Tennant again appearing when Jodie had gone in that new suit, I was like, yeah, I'm buzzing. Can't wait for it to turn up. A lot of people came back in good faith, and they squandered that good faith. And this is the cost of it. You know, we didn't want this, but they decided to change something that was inherently Doctor Who to something that isn't Doctor Who. And again, if you start trying to do that, you're going to fail. How many sci-fi shows in the last decade have people like this ilk done that to, and they failed because they've tried to change what the brand is?
Yeah.
And until they get rid of it, it's not going to change. And it's a really sad thing to have to say, because sometimes I feel like I've gone into the twilight zone. That I'm actually thinking, well, what's happened to Doctor Who? You know, what is going on? You know, I just can't believe it some days.
The Twilight Zone might get more viewers. This will get more viewers.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
On Channel 4. Now last night,
this is what I say. I'm wondering what the Fifth Doctor's got to press there to get transmatted out by the Time Lord.
Yeah, where's his tractor beam? So last night we had a really enjoyable discussion about all the rumors. We had fun. We went through them all, I have to say. So if you haven't seen that yet, give that a like and a hype and everything. But of course, John, my pal, is here. And John, you were busy yesterday. Well, no, I've got to get it right. Sunday night. We're doing 2 Stargate watch-alongs of season 3, was it not?
Yeah, that's right.
And you were doing a Supernatural watch-along as well on your Sci-Fi Chronicles 79 channel. John, I know you've been doing lots of edits. I know you've been building up lots of your solo format. So what's happening on your channel?
So yeah, still got the watch parties every Sunday. So come along if you're new to Stargate or you haven't watched it in a while and you just want to geek out and enjoy one of the finest sci-fi shows ever created. Come along and join us. Supernatural is straight after it, and that's 1 episode. And again, it's an absolute joy of just paranormal lovingness. It's wonderful, even if that's a word or not, I don't know. And then I've got some individual videos coming out imminently on Stargate, and it's about the lore, it's about some of the creatures, some of the alien species, the tech in Stargate. So if you're new to Stargate, this will be like an introduction to you. So this is where you can go. And then finally I've got season, top 5 episodes of each season coming as well. So lots of stuff. It'll keep me busy for quite some time. I'm always becoming like you.
Well, that's it. You end up being on all the time. So everyone give him a like and subscribe. He's over 500 subscribers, but keep the bumping going. Tell your friend. I always say this. Tell your friends, repost it, give it a hype. Now, our other pal, of course, is Garbage Who AI. And I've been big time. He's done all the AI adventures of Rose. He obviously likes Clara. He obviously likes Rose. He likes Sydney Sweeney. He's even done a Turlo for me. You'll see a Turlo soon, but I don't think much of you are ready for that. But he's done Knight Rider with Sydney Sweeney, and he's done loads of them. He's done an absolute blockbuster one. So everybody,
Can I just say I had to go out and go for a walk in the cold Night Air to cool down after that Knight Rider Sydney Sweeney video. So you must check it out. You've got to experience it.
And I think after tonight's stream, he's going to do an AI of this for me. I know I did see him say over his dead body, but it's so easy to do, surely.
A cold day in the death zone, is that what he's calling it?
What moving parts will we get? Right. So, John, you've given me a lot of time. You're going to be on another show tonight, so thank you. And he's work today as well, so thank you very much, everybody. It's still early New Year. Hopefully, we cheered you up. If we're negative about the spin-off, we wanted a laugh at the same time. We're all here for that. So thanks to the community. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being generous. Thanks for being generous with your time, Garbage and John. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, all.